Hello, welcome to another episode of New Gameplay. Today I'm your host, Jeff Cork, joined by Leo Vader, as I live and breathe.
None other.
How's it going, buddy?
Really good. I'm excited about this new season of Rainbow Six Siege content, Operation Steel Wave.
Operation Steel Wave.
We got 2 new operators, as per usual, and we've got or usual for now. And we've got a map rework, this time of House, the most iconic Siege map, I would think it was fair to say.
Yeah. Real quick, let's go back just for a second. What was the last update called? It was also a nautical theme, if I remember correctly,
Shifting Tides, yeah.
Okay, what's going on?
There's like some company called Night Haven that this new operator I'm playing as, Ace, works for. There's some kind of story tie-in. It is water-themed. That is all I can say at this time.
Okay, cool. I can't wait to learn more about that. Ace! Tell me about Ace!
Ace is a new hard breacher. He's a middle ground between Thermite and Hibana. I'll throw his gadget out in just a second here. Obviously, it works on soft walls as well as hard walls. But he has to throw it, so it's not quite as long range as Hibana, but still pretty long range. And it deploys over time. So at maximum time, it deploys about a Thermite-sized hole. But if they stop it from fully deploying after just the first one, it'll be like it's a little smaller than a Hibana-sized hole.
I wish that I could be in that pitch meeting, because when you describe it, it makes absolutely no sense. But when you see it, you're like, oh, yeah, of course.
Right.
I wonder how much they were sweating while they were implementing this. Like, I just see the designer over some artist's shoulders, like, please animate this well, because nobody understands this. So there, you just put the charge there.
With words, yeah.
Okay, and it does that.
Moves
and then,
itself down.
Goes down. Yep.
Deploys one by one.
And does it make little elevator sounds as it's going down?
It should.
Yeah.
Now, this is the Defender's new gadget. We'll get back to that gadget in a moment.
Yeah.
But this is the Defender's gadget while we're in customs here. It slows down attackers through line of sight. It can't be shot. You can destroy it with melee.
Can't be reasoned with.
Yeah. But it's pretty strong. You get 3 of them as this new Defender, Melusi. She's a 3-speed, so she'll slow down attackers while being very fast herself. Attackers can still aim with normal speed. They just walk slower. But the slow walk is still faster than the alt walk. Okay. So it's not like you're slowed to a stop. And it makes a really loud noise, so you can hear from across the map if somebody has tripped it.
Ah, what does it sound like? I love it.
You had a question for me?
Yeah, tell me if this is a good joke.
Okay.
So what was the last event they had, it was kind of like a Roaring Twenties theme, right?
Yeah,
and some of the cosmetics, fedora.
Yeah.
You could for your character. Is it funny if you were wearing character with a fedora to go up to this new operator and say, Melusa?
Yeah.
Bit of a walk to get there, but yeah.
Oh, Owen, what a lovely walk it was. A walk to remember.
I'm going to mute my mic for the rest of this. Sorry.
You've earned it.
All right, so talk to me about the revisions to House, because I think that is a level like even those of us who have not played a ton of Siege are kind of familiar with it. I mean, the setting, I grew up in a house. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I know what a house should look like. This is a massive house. I would say it was like twice as big as it used to be. It's kind of expanded outwards. Like the core of it is really similar to the house you're familiar with, and it has new rooms on the outside and better rotation, new stairwell from the first to second floor. And this garage, obviously, crazy different. You can see there's one wall it doesn't look like we reinforced in there. That's because it's not a regular wall. It's just impenetrable by default. So there's only one garage wall you have to worry about now, which makes tricking a lot simpler, meaning like Bandit putting down the battery as they place it.
I'm really into you attacking that hamper with a knife and watching it kind of like half-heartedly fall apart.
It's a good little microcosm of like I'll watch a pro player do it to like get debris out of the way, and they'll do it perfectly in one, and then I try to do it, and that's how it goes.
you awkwardly yanking the edge of the tablecloth at the restaurant. Hey, everybody, watch this.
This always looked easy. I just took a peek there at side entrance into garage, though. So while it is a smaller garage wall to be playing off of, they do have just a straight side door they can go in. Yeah. Which is just more interesting to me.
I think there's one of the things that the developers, they do such a phenomenal job is just adding detail in the maps in Rainbow Six Siege. I'm wondering, this is a stretch. Are there any references to a remodeling that the house has undergone that you've seen, like a bill on a counter or anything weird like that?
That'd be good. I would say the one tease is that one of the rooms was called construction, and it was in construction for the 4 years of this game's existence, and now it's been built into an actual room. So it's like, wow, they teased that since the beginning. What is
they knew it all along. This was going to be a different room.
Yeah. You can watch real quick here. You watch Ash come into this room, and the Melusi gadget gets triggered, her Banshee. So it's slowed down the Ash, a notoriously fast and tough to hit operator with her small hitbox and 3-speed movement, but slowing her down when it was so late in the round she had no choice but to push. That was ended up being a really clutch placement.
Nice.
By me.
And your aiming, when you're affected, is not affected, correct? So, like, you can't move your feet as quickly, right? But you're still able to aim.
Exactly, and so it ends up being a bait sometimes. Like, you can use it because you know they'll hear it and you know they'll come to you, and if you know the way they're going to come to you from, you can hold that angle and force that conflict at a time when you're actually really ready for it.
Oh, that's cool.
And I think both of these operators work that way, where they can kind of go either way. It depends on who has a better understanding of the situation, if that makes sense. Because, like this, deploying my Selma as Ace here on the wall, you know they're going to be watching it from that window and trying to destroy it with an impact grenade or shoot it. But they have such an easy angle there that the play quickly becomes, pretend I care about getting that open so I can bait them to destroy it and get the kill from that angle. 4D chess, they call it.
Yeah, exactly. Layers upon layers.
In the presentation, they describe the Selma as opening up a dialogue between attackers and defenders, which I really like, because it's like, once it starts happening, you can play it so many different ways on both sides. Like, as a defender, you could stop and wait and surprise them as soon as it pops open and reveals you. Just be ready to fire. Or throw a C4 once the first one gets open and destroy the rest of them so the rest of them can't get open, because one thin vertical hole or horizontal hole on the wall, useless. Like, they could maybe see through it a little bit, but they sure couldn't get through it. So, like, the fact that this takes so much time to get off and it starts this little countdown essentially for the defenders to do something if they want to, I think it's just a really interesting way to do a new hard breacher, who potentially can open up more reinforced walls than any hard breacher we've seen, but with the trade-off of it being much less reliable, and you have to do it in a more smart way. But the changes to House are apparent here for fans of House. This balcony's all new. This way into master bedroom, like you could see it led to other rooms there. Just vastly expanded, and you can see this new hallway that rotates into the back of bathroom, which I was not looking at. But it's this hallway here. So this is where construction used to be, and then this where I am is where a balcony used to be, an interior balcony looking over the lobby. And I opened up this wall, so I kind of brought back more of that balcony's usefulness, but in a better way than before, because you actually have walls covering you versus just tiptoeing around and trying to get lucky. The West Tower used to be a lot more oppressive. It could see like the whole top floor from there. I don't know if I get a good look at it here. But yeah, that barricade above the stairs essentially goes to West Tower. So they have like one window onto the stairs, one window into this room, one window into the other kid's room.
Right.
And it's much less effective for them to watch over all of the movement, which is kind of what you could do from West Tower before. But they also nerfed that basement run out to West Tower. It's a lot harder to pull off now. So they essentially just made it less of a seminal point, I guess.
So I got a question for you, Leo. So they're like trying to pepper in some story. You know, we talked very briefly earlier about like, was it Nighthaven? Is that what it was? So
I'm 80% sure.
Okay. Well, have they ever explained the strategic value of this particular house and why they would put explosive devices in here?
Send a message? They have not, to my knowledge. I don't know. I would love if they tied it in with the actual story. Yeah. But they've said this is a casual rework. They're stressing that.
Really?
So I don't think they're intending for this to go to ranked. Playing it, I don't see how it's not ranked ready. I just think it's more fun and balanced than some of the maps that aren't ranked. But I think they're hesitant to make that call just yet.
Yeah.
And of course, quick match, not canon. Every ranked match, deeply canon.
Deeply canon, exactly.
We all know that's how it works. Something I want to shout out with Mira here. You saw me at the start of the round throwing a new secondary gadget, which is a proximity alarm.
Oh, cool.
So you get 2 of them. A bunch of operators have them. Rook, Oryx are the 2 I can name right now. But it's like a big area where if they walk near it, it makes a loud noise, pretty much like the metal detectors on the bank map.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really useful. I think the fact that that's coming and Melusi with her Banshee gadgets, 2 proximity devices that are not that hard to deal with once you know where they are, but are still oppressive. I think it's like going to be a strong season for IQ, who can see those through walls.
Yeah.
Which is great. So I love IQ.
Now, obviously, Ubisoft takes great pains to ensure that things are as balanced as possible, right? But just based on your session here, do you feel like attackers or defenders have a little bit of an edge based on the new characters, or operators, I'm sorry, that have been introduced?
Thank you. Defenders, by default, have always been kind of a slightly higher win rate of like 55% or something. Not huge, but they kind of by default get a little bit of an edge because attackers have to push and make mistakes and make noise, whereas defenders can kind of punish that. Is it kind of my quickest way to sum it up? And I think the new defender, the fact that her Banshees can't be destroyed by anything but melee or, explosives, they're pretty much gonna force conflict from how loud they are. It's super easy to know when they go off, or even when they're destroyed if you're doing it in a loud way. I think it's gonna make defenders even stronger. Like I've been wrong every single time I've tried to predict if it's gonna shift the meta or whatever, but I think it is a strong thing for defenders to have. And proximity alarms also are gonna give the edge to defenders.
Yeah. So you're saying offense is never gonna win?
Not even
ever
once.
Again. Okay, cool.
That's right. And when I'm playing, sometimes defense doesn't even win.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's interesting because they have talked about adding new secondary gadgets for attackers that are like EMP grenades, essentially. Mini Thatchers.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird those didn't come with this season. It'll be like a season where defenders have the edge gadget-wise before attackers are given something that helps them kind of catch up.
We should say real quick, too, normally when they have these kind of Rainbow Six Siege preview events for upcoming seasons, you've been our man on the street, you've flown out for these events and, played with other streamers and had a great time in person. Things being what they are, they just kind of switched it up a little bit. Just wondering what you thought of this experience and how it kind of all went together.
It was super smooth. It was essentially like a code they gave us for a new branch of the test server on Uplay. And they had everybody split off into like different Microsoft teams and squad up. And it went really smoothly. It was nice playing on my own rig. I always loved flying out for those events, and I'll certainly miss that as we live this way forever. But yeah, I think it was handled great, and I liked having my mouse and my sensitivity and my cat on my lap.
Did that help or hinder, ultimately?
It helped. It keeps the heart rate down,
Yeah.
So this is like a new kind of interaction, because we saw that outside wall on master bedroom. That's new. This window in that hallway that is new, right behind me now, inside of the bathroom, is new. So it's just adding these components that multiply the possibilities.
Yeah.
Is how I would pitch it if I were paid to pitch things like that.
Yeah.
So I tried to do that interesting flank to no avail.
It was interesting in a different way, maybe, which is cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Not everything interesting is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oryx, bunch of little changes. Ones I noticed were Oryx takes 5 damage instead of 10 going through walls now. Callie has Clash's SMG for a sidearm. And I guess maybe that's it. No, Amaru. Yeah. Amaru can grapple through and shoot way faster than she used to. Way less punishing to grapple into a random window. It's a bit more... You're not just sitting there waiting to die, essentially. Plus, it doesn't open the barricade. until you go through it. So much more of the element of surprise, like you kind of expected her to have before you realized how not strong she was. Yeah. You can see that bandit tricking the Ace breach we were trying to get off. So listening, super easy to hear the Ace breach going down from that point in master bedroom, because you can hear through the window in bathroom. It's really not that far off. And he has all the time in the world to trick. Like, that's the other way Ace is kind of balanced. Not as strong as Thermite or Hibana, is his thing takes so long to get off that they can trick it like that. Or with Kaid even, if they're smart, who can't trick much, he has enough time to trick those.
Yeah.
So that was a little clutch that was kind of made possible by the Banshee. Like, I killed that bandit and entered and triggered that Banshee and let them know exactly where I was, but because I had the call out on where that frost was, I could just sit and wait, essentially, for them to push.
Now, earlier I heard you say something off mic, Leo, and is it true Ace is an influencer?
He is an influencer. His bio picture is like him taking a selfie with somebody he's strapped to a helicopter and is saving from some disaster. It's really something. His bio is like brash or whatever, self-interested, just every kind way to say this. They've introduced a dick.
Okay, yeah.
This guy's rude. He's Norwegian. Melusi is from South Africa, I believe.
And cosmetics this season? Anything of note to call out?
So glad you asked. Attachment skins are coming to the game. So you can have one skin for all your attachments. Your sight, your grip, your suppressor will all be one of the colors you pick. Black, beige, and white. Or black, tan, and white, I think, are the first three that they're given for free. And then the rest are going to be paid, of course.
Yeah.
But it introduced a new bug where sometimes when I started a match, my gun wouldn't have attachments, and then they'd pop in a second later. So that's exciting.
Just get really mad about that, too.
Oh, it's why I lost. If I ever lost, that was why.
Yep. Always.
Brought the smoke grenades. Here is Ace. They're good to pair with his gadget because they can't see through the smoke and shoot it, obviously. But doing it on soft walls, it's so risky because they know exactly where it's going to be. I think they tried to play it rather than destroy it and just, like, be ready for me. But if they wanted to destroy it, they know it's right below the hole that was getting popped. Like, it's a no-brainer to predict that on a soft wall. Once again, forced into a clutch scenario where I just got to do my best. Against gods of gaming. But this
Were you playing with people that you played before?
Yeah, a couple people. Mike Mahardy of GameSpot was there. Morgan Park writes for PC Gamer. Very good. Every time I killed him was a miracle. But yeah, this is year 5, season 2. Steel Wave coming to the test server on PC in the next couple weeks, and then after that, coming everywhere.
Excellent. Well, thanks for showing this off, Leo.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And maybe I'll see you in the house. Bye.
Gaming can be hard. Watching people play games shouldn't be. New Gameplay Today is your path to getting fun, informational previews of upcoming games and the releases of the day. It's New Gameplay Today, a marginally new way to spend your time.